Welcome DOOMVIEW. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 craziest things we learned in the Agatha All Along finale. The first one is what actually really happened with Nicholas Scratch. Did she trade her son in for more power? Was he an agent of Mephisto? All of these questions were circulating and we finally get the answer. The beginning of the final episode starts off with Agatha giving birth to her son, and you find out that actually her son was supposed to be a stillborn because he was born not alive. When she sees Mistress Death coming for her son, she pleads and begs for her to give her more time. Mistress Death decides to give it to her, and in the time that Nicholas Scratch, her son, is alive, it's still unclear who the father was or how the child was conceived. It was with magic, but in the time that Nicholas was alive, he wrote the Ballad of the Witch's Road. And also he had to help Agatha lure other witches so she could steal their power. It's still a little bit unclear for me why she had to steal the power. Maybe it was so she could like live longer. If you have the answer to that, please let me know in the comments down below. After 6 years of living, Nicholas Scratch, when they're sleeping in the woods, he gets taken by Mistress Death. Agatha wakes up with her child not alive in her arms. Another witch from earlier in the episode tries to ask her about the Witch's Road while she's mourning, and in the beginning Agatha's really upset because of course she just lost her son, but then she says, okay, I can take you to the Witch's Road, but we are going to need a coven. And that's when you find out that the whole time the Witch's Road was a fabrication which started with a song from Nicholas Scratch. This is number 2. The thing we found out number 2 was that the Witch's Road never existed, and that Agatha used the myth of the Witch's Road to lure women. She would always take their power, she would always kill all of these witches, she would murder her coven, and then it would meet their demise at the hand of Agatha for years and years and years. And actually that is exactly what she tried to do when she's with all the witches in the basement and they're singing the Ballad of the Witch's Road. She's trying to make them angry so that they will throw their power at her. We get to the final conclusion. It was Billy all along. Billy was the person who, just like Wanda, I talked about it in my previous video, just like how Wanda made Westview the perfect little town where she could live a happy ever after with her husband Vision and her 2 kids, Billy and Tommy. That is what Billy did. Billy Maximoff created, with his willpower, created the Witch's Road to be real so that he could get what he wanted. And that also means Billy is responsible for creating all of the death traps, and by creating those death traps is directly responsible for 1, the death of Mrs. Hart, and also of Lila Calderu. So you find out that the whole time this entire Witch's Road was a road that never existed, and that is exactly what Mistress Death was talking about. Well, now that we got those 3 WTF moments aside, of course the series ends with, you find out that Agatha, she is still like a Force ghost, and that is also crazy. Billy is trying to send her to the afterlife, I guess, but she's not ready to go because she doesn't want to see her son. And I think that the ending of the show sets it up beautifully for Billy Maximoff and Agatha Harkness to continue their journey in the MCU, because at first she tries to banish her, but after that they decide to work together and go and find Billy's brother Tommy. I think it's a really cool body cop duo, really good duo. They were great together. Cannot wait to see Billy Maximoff and Agatha Harkness in the future of the MCU. That this show really built their characters, and I think they have a lot of storytelling potential. DOOMVIEW out. Have a great day and namaste.